Listen, starting a podcast is just speed running a friendship.
Can confirm. Yeah.
And if what I've heard from other people is to be believed, then, like, we will still be learning things about each other in many years to come, so.
Well, yeah, life be like that.
Life be like that.
But I mean, half the time we have to cut out, like, 10 or 20 minutes because we just end up having a mini, like, therapy heart-to-heart session.
I mean, you're not wrong.
And that's one way to get close to someone, for sure.
Speaking of mini therapy, how are you feeling right now? Have you slept lately?
Oh, no.
Have you been
yes.
sleeping?
Yes, I've been sleeping, however, probably not great. I don't sleep very heavily, so I wake up very easily throughout the night.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Yeah, especially because I move, like I've mentioned before, I move around a lot. So, yeah, it's probably part of the reason why I'm tired all the time.
Probably doesn't help.
No. Anyways,
yeah.
You gotta tell me about a scary thing.
Yeah, I am. I just wanted to know how you've been sleeping before I go into this. Before I get into this.
Mhm.
Before I get into this.
We should intro.
We probably should, but I just want to know, how are your stress levels right now? How much how spooky should I make this?
Well, the thing is, I can handle that kind of stress. I am dealing with many different kinds of stress at the moment, even though it's only the second week of being back in school.
Oh.
However,
school is the scariest thing of all. Anyway,
we could have a whole episode on my thoughts about school and what it was like returning to school after all of the shit that I had to sort through mentally for it. But that's for another time. It's not even school that's stressful right now. It's just I've been trying to incorporate a lot of new habits all at once, but I'm trying to still do it slowly enough that I don't overwhelm myself, but it's not entirely working.
Hard balance.
It's hard, but there's a lot to juggle, even though I only have, like, 2 classes, and, it's still, like, I'm trying to, start a fitness thing for the first time in my life on my own. Yeah, I'm punching things.
Punching things?
And, my knuckles hurt. So, like, even for, like, the 2 days after I went to my first class, my body just hurt. And so that just added to stress because I felt like I couldn't fucking do anything. Anyways. It's been a lot of little things that I've been trying to juggle all at once.
So tell me how you feel.
Why are...
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
No, it's a joke. I'm doing a bit.
I'm sure you are. You with your little blue light glasses, seeming like a therapist, you're psychoanalyzing me.
Oh.
I'm ready to be spooked, though.
All right, let's do this. Okay.
Hi. Welcome to Liminal Spaces. I'm your sleepy baby student, Adele.
And I am your comrade in arms today, Nick.
2 very different vibes.
Listen.
I mean, I guess...
We will bring both those vibes together today in this topic I'm going to talk to you about.
We will merge them into one.
We will merge
We'll create a monster.
That is closer than you may think.
Oh, God. Spook me, baby.
Today, I am going to tell Adele and, by proxy, all my listeners, my faithful, wonderful listeners who come here just to hear my wonderful, sweet voice. And Adele's, of course.
Aww.
I'm going to be talking about the Russian sleep experiments.
Yay!
Let's crack into it.
Hell yeah.
I feel like that's someone else's tagline. Whatever.
We don't use it every time. It's fine.
It's fine.
Everything is fine.
It's fine.
I'm getting to the point of, like, hyper already, even though we haven't been doing this for very long.
Listen. It's because we've been doing it so well.
Yeah, it's true. We kind of hopped right into it. Before this started, I was just very low-key, low energy, could barely speak louder than a whisper. And as soon as we hit record, I'm just like...
That's good. Also, that spike, beautiful.
Yeah, I just gave myself more
kiss.
work for editing.
Listen, when we started, Adele was like whispering like this.
They definitely can't hear that. If you're gonna whisper, you gotta get up in that mic, baby.
Hell yeah. Anyway, so like Adele was whispering, and I was like, Adele, you just gotta go woo. You don't even have to go woo. You just gotta go woo.
And then I just screamed.
Yeah, exactly. So, it works. It works, and then you just balance out in the middle there. Anyway, Russian sleep experiment.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard this name before, but I don't know any details about it.
Delicious. Let's crack into it.
We're gonna get sued now. You used it twice.
I think this is probably like the 4th time I've used it since we started recording. Not today, but like in general. I feel like it's just one of those things that have like been added to my vocabulary without my knowledge.
That's a mood. Anyways.
Yes.
Let's crack into it. Okay, this bit's going on too long. Go
Delicious. Ahead. Okay. So, in the 1940s, Soviet researchers kept 5 people awake for 15 days straight.
Oh, okay. Maybe I have heard of this. But I don't know the details. Continue.
Delicious. Do you taste that? It's delicious.
Delicioso.
Delicioso.
Are we Dora?
Are we human or are we Dora?
Are we...
Dora, are we dancers?
No, where's that frickin' pizza? It's Delicio.
Is it Dora?
Delicio, please sponsor us.
If you get one of those like grocery delivery services to give you like a bunch of frozen pizzas, it is both delivery and Delicio.
Hack the system, baby.
All right. Yes. So anyway, so 5 people were kept awake for 15 days using a gas-based stimulant, or an experimental gas-based stimulant, right? The 5 people were political prisoners deemed enemies of the state. So
okay, so they did this to they didn't do it to their own citizens at least.
Well, it's not considered their own citizens anymore.
Traitors,
they were political prisoners. They were basically told that if you consent to willingly do this experiment and make it out through the end, you will have earned your freedom.
I just had this flash of like an image of somebody who like had gone almost cannibalistic. Is that where we're going? Is that... Continue. Sorry, I don't know. I'm having all these flashes of like things that sound vaguely familiar from what you're saying, and I'm like, I feel like I have heard about this, and there's scary images in my brain, but I don't know how much I know, and I'm scared.
Well, not an old story. Well, it's obviously an old story, right? 1940s.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I keep interrupting.
It's okay. You're allowed. Just gonna make sure I have.
I'm becoming the chaotic energy this episode. Usually it's not me.
Well,
But it's me today.
Everyone needs the... I almost said idiot ball because that's the phrase, but everyone needs the chaotic ball. You know what I mean?
Idiot ball?
You never heard that? It's like when you're passing the ball around, so it's your turn with the idiot ball?
I've never actually heard that. But that's a good one. Yep, I am holding the chaotic ball today. Continue.
Balls up. Anyway.
I just had the worst phrase pop into my head. Dicks up, balls out.
Dicks up, balls
out. It's not from anything. It just came into my brain.
I'm pretty sure that is a meme, though.
Anyways.
Yes. Yes. So they were kept in a sealed environment to carefully monitor the oxygen levels so that they wouldn't, like, die.
Yeah.
On the stimulant because it was toxic in high concentrations, right? Like most things.
Yeah.
If you have too much of it, you will die.
Yeah.
But it was... So they just had them in this thing, but they didn't have, like, closed circuit cameras.
Oh, okay.
So what they did was they set up some microphones, and they had windows to view them through.
Were they the mirrors? Like, that? Were they the one way, or?
I don't think they were one way.
So inside could see out still?
I don't know. It's never specified.
Okay.
All it specifies is that they were like 5 inches. They were like thick.
Yeah.
Thick glass, so that they couldn't break through them.
Yeah.
and that's how they viewed into the experimental vault.
Yeah.
I will call it from here on in. I don't know if that's the wording they use, but that's the wording I'm using.
Sounds good.
So, they had this room, and it was pretty good. There was cots laid out for everyone so that they could lie down to
They were all in the same
sleep.
room?
Yeah, they were all in the same room.
Okay.
All 5 of them in the same room. And they were all in there, and it was like so they could sleep, right? There was running water and like toilets that they could use. There were books that they could read, and enough food for 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
For 5 days? Huh.
Was it 5 days, or were they expected to stay longer?
There was enough food in there for many days, I'm going to say. I can't remember exactly how long. Because they were only there for 15 days.
But if they only had food for 5?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay.
And they might have restocked it after a while.
Gotcha. Yeah,
that part is never really specified, but they had food in there, they had running water, they had cots to lie down and books to read to keep them busy, right? Yeah. And they had each other. Now.
Aww.
Aw, they had each other. Okay. So, the first 5 days were fine. They spent their time, like, reading, conversing with each other, and because of the stimulant, they never slept.
Yeah.
God,
that'd be so long.
Around the 4th day, the 4th day there, the conversation turned, like, really dark.
Yeah.
To, like...
If you're around somebody 24/7 for 5 days, it's gonna go there.
It's gonna go dark. I'm surprised they managed to, like...
Last that long
before that. We're here.
Cynical.
Listen. Listen, we've been trapped in this bunker for 4 days now. We started a podcast.
Anyways.
Yeah. But then after day 5, they began complaining about their circumstances, the things that led them to this place, like why they were why they became political prisoners, why they disagreed with the state and became enemies of the state, things like that, how they got down here and why they agreed to do this experiment. It was really complaining. They were like, again, kind of like, and they started demonstrating severe paranoia.
Yeah.
So they would, like, start whispering to the microphones, trying to rat each other out for, like, things that they, like, either did before they were in the experiment or, like, in here in the experiment. Like, they're just, like, trying to, like, maybe if they, like, betrayed these secrets to the people, they would get out, right? Didn't. It just kept going, but nothing changed, really.
Do we have a name for who who was the scientist behind these experiments?
There's a reason for that. The reason that we don't have any names, any specific names...
Protected by the government?
Not quite. The lead researcher covered it up.
Okay.
I'll get into the details of that at the end.
Okay.
But he covered it up.
But it somehow got out still?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll figure... Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Go ahead.
It's fine. It's fine.
I have questions.
And I have answers.
Ooh.
After 9 days, the screaming began.
Would they just randomly start screaming?
So there was... it started with one person. He started running the length of the chambers.
Yeah.
Screaming. Just screaming.
I would too if I was awake for 9 days, though.
Honestly, yeah. And then it became 2 people, so they were both, like, running the length of the chamber screaming.
Yeah.
So severely that after a while they, like, physically couldn't scream any longer.
Yeah.
The speculation was that they had, like, torn their vocal cords.
Yeah.
But the weird part, because it's like they just started screaming, they started running, and they kept trying to scream, but they couldn't. No one else reacted. Like, they just didn't react at all. Didn't say anything.
They probably just didn't give a shit. They're so tired. They're like, guess that's happening now.
Yeah, that's happening.
Like,
didn't even, like, mention it. They just kind of, like, kept doing whatever, kept whispering. Yeah. So, as the researcher, you're like...
What the fuck?
Listening to the screaming and listening to the whispers. That's gotta, like, be nightmare fuel.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Then, the others...
who weren't screaming?
The others who weren't screaming, they started taking the books apart. They smeared the pages with shit and then pasted them calmly over the windows.
So that they couldn't see in anymore?
So they couldn't see in anymore.
What did the people do?
So the researcher, but after that, after the windows were like covered up, the screaming stops and the whispering stops. So it's like, okay, shit, what the fuck? They don't want to like initially ruin the experiment.
Yeah.
So
they leave it?
No, they leave it. They keep monitoring it. The vital signs are still going. There's enough oxygen that's going through, in and out, that coming through, whatever, like the breathing. However the hell they monitor that. I'm not a scientist. I'm barely a historian. The way they monitor that, the oxygen is there's still enough oxygen going through for like 5 people.
Yeah.
So they're all still alive.
Yeah.
Or at least they're all still breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they eventually like argue their way into like opening up the chamber.
Yeah.
And after like 3 days of nothing changing. But before they do that, they go on the intercom, which they weren't supposed to, right? As part of the experiment, they're supposed to like leave them alone. In isolation. They basically like announce like we're opening the chamber to make sure everyone's okay and alive. Lie down on the ground with your like hands where we can see them. If you comply with this, compliance will earn one of you your immediate freedom. The only response they got back is, "We no longer want to be freed."
How many voices said that at once?
Now that's a good question.
Do you have the number or
Nope.
No?
Anyway, here's the chamber. Kind of gives you an idea of what very, very sterile, very medical looking.
Yeah.
There were cots, but there were no blankets or pillows or anything like that. Just kind of like a circular room chamber with like the windows and everything. That's it.
Yeah.
Now they open up the chamber. The oxygen is like the air is like flushed out with fresh air, so the stimulants flushed out, and the results were like immediate and chaotic. They where should I start? One of them was already dead.
One of them was dead.
One of them was dead.
Do you know how? Okay.
Ripped apart.
How could they not hear that?
To shreds.
No, but how? To shred? How? First of all, how? Second of all, how did they not hear it? Do you have answers or no?
Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish.
Okay.
So, they all the inmates had been severely mutilated, flesh torn off their bodies, and stuffed into the floor drain. So there was like water building up, but it's like hard to tell how much of that is water and how much of that is blood. Now this is where it's going to get gory. Just a heads up.
Yep. Okay. Trigger warning.
Trigger warning. Yeah, we're going to put a trigger warning on this one for sure. Gore.
Yeah. And for this part, I'll go in and like figure out when.
Oh yeah.
A timestamp is when it stops getting gory, which might be the rest of the episode, might not. I'll let you know.
There'll probably be like 5 minutes near the end where it's not gory.
I'll let you know in post.
Yeah. So they seem to have ripped open their own abdomens and eaten their own flesh. There was like still food left over, enough that they were like.
They didn't have to.
They didn't have to. They just hadn't touched it, and they had just gone at each other.
At each other or at themselves? Did you say?
Well, it was their own flesh had been eaten, but like by both themselves and each other.
Okay.
Is the implication. And they refused to leave the chamber, and when the gas the stimulant had been like cycled out, they started like yelling and panicking. One of them started begging, like, bring it back and everything, like.
Well, I guess if you're being given something 24/7 for a week and a half, 2 weeks, that'll fuck with your system. Like, you become dependent on it, I guess.
Yeah, and they were like saying like, if we fall asleep we'll die. Was the thing that they kept like emphasizing on, like, we can't fall asleep, we'll die. Like, this was the only thing keeping us alive.
Damn it.
They fought back somehow. They fought back against the researchers who were trying to get them out and get them like medical help.
Yeah.
With like more aggressive power than they should have been capable of.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they did eventually, like, they all died. Eventually, like, a couple of them like died on the way to the medical help or whatever, for lack of a better word. A couple of them died while they were getting help, and then there was like 1 or 2 that was still left, but was like on like life support basically.
Okay.
I think I did my math right.
Did,
Yeah, and then there was, like, the one guy that was just dead when they opened the thing.
Yeah.
And then, so, like, the commanding officer was like, they have to, like, continue the experiment, like, get, like, fresh thing, whatever. Fresh people. The head researcher was like, no, fuck this. Shot him point blank, and then
Shot the general or whatever?
shot the commanding officer, and then killed the last surviving subjects, and then covered up everything.
Wait, you didn't say how the guy was shredded to bits.
Well, they found him in there, and he was, like, he was everywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, like, how do you not hear that over intercoms?
Now,
Like, and assuming that maybe he was just quiet and let it happen to him.
I mean, it's possible given all their other
Yeah.
behavior. Now, here's my favorite.
But wouldn't it still hurt? You'd still scream. Sorry, I'm
You'd
stuck
think,
on
right?
that.
I
Yeah.
mean, he might have been the one of the ones that had already shredded his vocal cords.
That's true. I didn't think about that. Anyways, sorry. Continue.
So, anyway, it's not a real story.
What?
That's a creepypasta written in 2010.
But I've heard that before.
It's literally one of the most popular ones that just goes around and around and around.
I guess so, because I thought I'd read that before.
I read it before too, and I actually got nightmares on it, and it's more debated than a lot of creepypastas.
Hmm.
But it was written in 2010 by someone on, like, a creepypasta Reddit thread.
Huh. Are we gonna get screwed for repeating?
No.
Because
Like, no, listen. So, no, it's, like, literally, it's just, like, one of those ones that, like, just goes around and around and around, and nobody really knows that it's not quite real until they do, and then they just kind of, like, spread it, because it's like, haha, it's very fun, but it's also, like, fucking freaky. There's also, like, you can't, like, scientifically, you cannot make a gas-based stimulant that will, like, just keep you going like that. That's not how that works.
No?
Or if it is, it's not how we know it to work. I know, I read a science thing about it, like, a couple years ago, and I went, oh, okay, cool. I did not retain any of it because I am not a science person.
Fair. Man, I'm just, like, sobered up now. I was in it. I was so in it. Whew.
But yeah, there was a short film made in 2015 that I kind of want to watch now, based on it.
What's it called?
The Russian science experiment.
Oh, okay.
I really want to watch it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too, but
You look like you're reeling, and
I am, just because, like, I would have believed it.
See, that's the thing. I think, because what the article I was reading off of before I arrived was, like, literally, like, about how good creepypasta, like, really spreads out and gets around and everything. And the example they used was this story, because it had, like, all these things. It had, like, vaguely believable science, and we don't know all the, like, in creepypastas, you never know anyone's names. But, like, at the end, you had a reason for not knowing anyone's names.
Yeah.
Two, the Russians did a fucking shit ton of things that were, like, bad and immoral and that we don't really know all about.
Well, even, like, just a lot of people, like, you think of MK Ultra, even in the States. Like,
Exactly.
there's a lot of fucked up experiments in science, especially before any sort of ethics was introduced.
And even after ethics, they just don't care, as long as it gets to their bottom line. Military superpowers don't really care about ethics.
Yeah, in terms of, like, if it's got enough money behind it, that's the one fucked up thing, is there are a lot of really great ethics committees that people who have to do science experiments, like, dread doing, but it makes a lot of sense because of a lot of fucked up shit that happens. However, if there's enough money behind it, they can get past it. They can fund it without having to go through those a lot of the time. At least I think so. I don't know how.
And that's the real
possible
that's the real creepypasta.
I don't know how possible it is these days, but even like 50 years ago, I'm sure it was pretty straightforward.
Should I say spaghetti Afraido?
Instead of creepypasta?
Spaghetti Afraido?
Oh, I was thinking of the other way where spaghetti was gonna be made into a scary word. It's fine. My brain's a little fried now. I was like,
I just sent you.
You guys just witnessed an entire like peak and plummet of my energy in real time.
Witness me.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with myself now.
You're welcome. You want a hug?
Yeah.
It was pretty gory. It was pretty gory there for a minute. Like, not gonna lie. Even like, and that was the summarized version. Like the actual, if you find it and read it, the actual version goes into a lot more detail on it, which I think is also both makes it more weirdly believable, but also makes it more like, no, don't want to believe that, you know?
Yeah.
I also had another thing about like the Russians.
Oh, Russia.
Specifically, like the USSR, because like let's be real. Russia right now is a terrible place to be. The worst part is I've always wanted to go to Russia, and then within the past decade or so, it's just become a death trap.
Yeah.
And it's like, great, not gonna be able to do that in my lifetime.
Well, maybe someday.
Oh, when I'm 78.
It'll be on your bucket list.
It'll be on my bucket list. It'll be the last thing on my bucket list. Anyway, just bring a Molotov cocktail. Molotov. That sounds Russian.
Yeah, it is.
Huh.
Well, Mazel Tov is
That's
close. And there are
Jewish.
It's Jewish, but I know
Yiddish?
I know a number of Russian Jewish people.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
I'm gonna look that up later. Anyway. Anyway.
Isn't a Molotov cocktail a bomb?
It's not necessarily a bomb. It's like you have alcohol in a bottle with
right,
a rag
right,
and it's lit on
right.
fire.
Yeah.
You throw it, the alcohol goes everywhere, the flaming rag lights it all up.
Right. Couldn't remember. I knew it was something like that.
It's very effective. Anyway.
We do not condone this behavior. We do not condone using this.
Absolutely. And I should definitely not be giving tips about this. Anyway,
yeah, we'll stop it there.
We'll stop it there. I have many thoughts. No, there was like...
Do? I thought... Nick's wiggling their eyebrows at me.
I have 2 brain cells. Anyway.
Mood. And I have one of them.
Yeah, I have 2 brain cells, and Adele is one of them.
I'm borrowing it.
You're borrowing it. No, there was a Russian astronaut, cosmonaut, I guess.
I don't know what the word they use.
I'll look it up. There was a Russian astronaut in the early beginnings of the space race that they sent up, and on descent, he was said to have died on impact when he impacted the Earth, because it was like it was a failed mission basically. There is audio recording of him as he's falling. No, maybe something like it. The pressure cracked or whatever. They said he died very quickly and very painlessly.
Yeah.
Is their announcement, whatever. There is audio of him trying to talk to his wife. And he's basically talking about how it is burning up and he is burning and suffocating.
Oh, so very much not.
Very much not. And they completely covered it up. And they were just he died for the good cause, and he's literally on this cursing them out.
Oh my
and
God.
Cursing their name and everything. It was bad. But that's not even an isolated incident. Shit like that happened all the time.
Yeah.
And they always covered it up. So that partly of that is also another you could say same things about Americans. They do weird whack shit like that all the time, and they just cover it all up. So I think that's what makes partially what makes these historical creepypastas more believable.
Yeah. Because government done do fucked up shit all the time.
Exactly. They don't have our interest.
We're recording this 2 weeks after, just under 2 weeks after the whole plane thing.
Yeah.
And the whole Ukraine thing and Iran and all that fun stuff. So
Yeah, I saw that on the news when I was getting my wisdom teeth taken out.
Oh my God.
So it was a week ago. It was a week ago.
A week ago now? Okay, yeah. What a topical thing. I mean, it won't be super topical when this comes out, but I mean, it should. So it's the news cycle. Bullshit.
It really fucking is. I'm over it. You know what? I'm over it. 2020. I just work here.
I
don't know, man. I just work here. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, on that cheery note. So this has been fun.
Yeah, to say the least. My goodness.
I got a little gore, got a little historian, got a little
spooky spook.
A little spooky spook.
Got a little call out for the governments of the world.
Hell yeah.
All in a day's work.
I got my guillotine right here.
Hell yeah.
I'm ready to fucking party.
I love quoting Vine in the year 2020.
It's January, I got my guillotine here, and I'm ready to fucking party. Oh, it's Mark Antony's birthday today.
That's gonna date this exactly.
Yep, absolutely. You're welcome. We have recorded today on Mark Antony's 2,300 slutty birthday.
Slutty birthday?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Oh, I forget who Mark Antony is. I know his name.
He was a thought.
Apparently.
He was a thought. He was the Roman general who was in that weird triad with Caesar and Cleopatra.
Right.
Yeah.
Slutty birthday.
Slutty birthday.
2,300, baby!
Hey, I definitely got that number wrong, but
close enough. Whatever, it's old.
Close enough. Him old, man. Him old. Okay. Yeah, so, I guess we should do the outro things.
I guess so. I kind of want to leave those bits in where it's like, I guess we should outro, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, let's do it. It'll be fine. Yeah, so if you want to, like, send us an email, just send us an email at...
Did you forget our email address?
I just forgot how to word.
Just completely blank slate.
You can send us an email at liminalspacespod@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at liminalspacepod and on Instagram at liminalspacespod.
Yeah, baby.
You can find me, personally, Nicholas, at Arsenic in New Lace. You can hear Luna growling in the background from wanting attention. You can plug yourself.
Plug me, baby. Oh boy.
Oh, wait. Now, that's an entirely different podcast.
It's been a long day. Even though not really.
It's barely 5 o'clock.
Yeah. You can find me on social media. Sorry, I remembered plug me. My Instagram's at Adele Bernadette. My Twitter is at Adele_Paul. If you want to follow Luna, she has an Instagram at LunaPupper_.
Hell yeah! Follow Luna.
I don't post terribly often, but sometimes I got some good ones, and I really should. I take so many pictures of her.
You have so many good pictures of Luna.
I should post it way more often.
You should. One a day for a week at least.
That's a lot of pressure.
One a week for a month.
Yeah, I should have a weekly Luna post at least.
Put it on your calendar.
That's another thing to add. That's just going to stress me out.
I'll put it on my calendar and remind you.
And then just text me about it. Sounds good. Yeah, our intro and outro music's been Purple... But it's been Purple Planet music by Into the Woods. It's the exact opposite of that. It's been Into the Woods by Purple Planet music. I've created an editing nightmare for myself this week.
You're editing Goblin.
I am editing Goblin. It's a good time. It's a great time. I love doing this show, even though I jokingly complain about editing, but it's worth it. It's so good.
So foul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we are.
Here we are
again. Yeah, so I've been Nick.
I've been Adele.
And we'll see you next time.
In the liminal spaces.
Hell yeah, we got it.
That was a very nice time.
Good. Before meeting him there.
I figured we'd get a little post-credits bit.
Oh, a post-credits bit?
Oh.
A post-credits bit? A post-credits bit?
I did have an idea for it, but now it's gone out my brain.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Fuck. Oh, I was gonna talk about how it's weird that we became regulars for the first time in my life at a place.
It's
trying not to laugh now.
Sorry. It's true.
But yeah, we're gonna go be regulars at a restaurant.
Hell yeah! Just gotta wait for Chris. Bro, Chris texted me back.